Hi guys.
Hey.
Welcome to a brand new episode of The Receipts Podcast. Make some noise.
Woo! Louder in the back.
Louder. Make some noise. Woo!
I said make some noise.
You can do better than that.
Come
you
on,
over
guys.
there with the green t-shirt.
Hello, London. Go on.
Hey, you over there in Manchester. I see you, man.
You better be listening to this and making noise. You over there in the green shirt. I see you. You in your PJs.
Welcome.
Give it up. Give it up for your girls. Give it up.
Woo!
Give it up.
It's your girls.
Woo,
It's your
woo,
girls.
give
I
it
feel
up.
like every intro needs to be like that. Welcome to episode 238 of The Receipts Podcast.
Hello.
Episode, baby. We are here for you, here with you even for a good, I don't know, I'm not going to put a number in it because I don't want to make promises I can't keep. But yeah, episode 238, full episode. It is
Your girl, Tolly T.
And Just Call Me Audrey.
Welcome to the Receipts Podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome.
Hey.
We don't have like a YouTube spiel yet. We should do the whole subscribe. I've never been on YouTube before. I've
Like,
actually
comment,
never
and
been on
subscribe.
YouTube before.
Me either. Like, comment, and subscribe.
How you doing, honey?
I'm good, you know. I is good. I'm very excited to be on YouTube. I love YouTube.
You are a YouTube girlie.
I am a YouTube girly. I watch a lot of content on there, so it's going to be nice to be amongst
the
content creators on YouTube now. Don't?
Yeah, exciting
times
times.
ahead.
I wanted to first begin this podcast by asking you: have you heard about the Facebook group? Are we dating the same guy?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I've never gone on it, but I've heard many a story.
Also, never gone on it, but I've heard many a stories of like
people actually finding shit out on there.
People on there. I've had people that I know, their picture being put on there. So the reason why I bring up the people that I know pictures being put on there, because I feel like pictures are being put on there where, so for example, let's say I went on a one date with a guy and then I just put we dating the same guy. Someone could have been like, yeah, I went on a date with him last week, but it doesn't mean that either of us is right. Right? Like if it's a single guy dating, I think they should be like, are we in a relationship with the same guy? That's a different situation. But many people have seen people who are in relationships with on there.
I thought that was the sole purpose, but
I thought it was a relationship thing. I didn't think it was I went on one date with this guy. Hey, is this? Because my question is this your boyfriend? If this is also a guy you're dating, so like people multi-date. Like,
I heard
people date
that
multiple
exactly.
people.
I heard that, and I heard that people are kind of using it now just to like talk shit about guys that may have done them wrong in 2004. Do you know what I mean? Like,
so if you posted a picture, and then I dated in 2004, and I'd be like, he's a piece of shit,
exactly.
blah, blah, blah,
and then
blah,
people
blah.
just like blah blah blah. But I mean, not that I ever want to take up for men because it's predominantly men on there. But
no, they're full of shit.
But
no, they're full of shit, and a lot of men that are there are rightly so to be there. Like these men that we're talking about, they're not the common denominator. Most men on there are men in relationships and with girlfriends who've then been put on there, be like, yo, that's my man.
Because the thing is, I guess if you have that feeling and that you have that desire to do it, something ain't sitting right. Do you know what I mean? There's obviously something in his behaviour. Because I would like to think if you've got common sense and you're just talking or you've just been on a couple of dates, like if you put that person's picture on there, the likelihood that someone's going to come back and say yes is probably quite high. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, but don't, like all good things, don't be rinsing it. Let's keep the resources valuable for what they're actually supposed to be doing. Because now when things get diluted with just random guys that people are just talking to, just seeing, like how do you know the cheaters from
Because the likelihood is, yes, you probably are.
Yeah, exactly. Because
like if you put a good-looking guy there, is anyone else dating him? Yeah.
This world here is small.
You probably are.
Or is he married? You know.
I think important things like, is anyone in a relationship with this guy? Is anybody with him? Is he an
So
abuser?
basically it's our CRB check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
I'm not mad at that. The thing is, I'm not the kind of person that likes, I don't want public bad news. Do you know what I mean? Like
I can never do it.
Exactly. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to know that. And I wouldn't want to, like, I feel like that is self-torture. To be like,
because
I'm seeing this
I'll
guy
be on Facebook waiting
100% waiting for a ping
to reply.
to come through.
Anybody.
I would rather honestly find out on my own accord, you know?
Yeah.
Because once everybody...
I'll find out.
You're going to find out. And once everybody knows, like, I'm sorry, I don't need the opinions of strangers dictating what I do next with this person.
But what's happened with it is apparently, like, because men and being weirdos and sickos, they've started a group that's meant to be like in backlash to this.
Why do they always have to have their own version?
It's really bad. They're putting up women's nudes on
Of
there.
course they are.
Like they've made it really bad.
this is just what happens. Every time women have something, they always have to go and counter it or do their own version. They're never original. They never have their own shit. Like, why are you doing your own version of it? And then, of course, you're taking it to the extreme.
Yeah, because you're like posting the nudes of these girls. It's not just a face of the girl we dating the same girl or whatever. It's kind of like
that doesn't
revenge porn, basically.
That doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
And then, of course, give it a couple of, let it marinate. It will tend to incel stalking. It would
exactly.
let it marinate. Put 1-2 toxic guys in the room. Give them an hour or two. Yeah, this is why women ain't shit. This is why they don't deserve shit. Like, it will always turn to that. Like, you tapped individuals. Like, I see all the time in our comments, they say there's like a dilemma and the issue is the woman doing wrong, right? Fair happens.
Yeah.
Okay, I will be like, this is why women don't deserve anything. This is why I fuck women. It's like, I don't know what your villain story is, but relax.
But you, 9 times out of 10, you thought that anyway.
Like,
do you know
relax.
What I mean?
You didn't need anything to validate you. Shut up.
You thought that anyway because you just have an internal hatred for women.
And you thought that because you couldn't get any girls. Like, that's where that's a lot of inceldom is involuntary celibacy. Like, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be celibate, but you just don't want to.
You don't have a choice.
Now you're angry at everybody.
Now you're just mad and hard.
So, like literally. So nobody's trying to hear that. But they've like kind of figured out like it's apparently it's a bad group.
I'm not surprised.
And they're putting girls' nudes on there and it's just like a shit show of a page. But like, are we dating the same guy? I think it was initially an American thing that's now here. But like, no, I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it. There's no chance.
I'd go and look though. I
would pre, but I don't want to know until I need to know. Because the thing is, there's always going to be someone that's got something on someone all of the time. Do you know what I mean? I just wouldn't want, like, let me do that on my own accord. Let me find out in the way in which I'm supposed to find out. I want it to be organic. I don't want to curate a situation where I find out. I just don't want to.
People have found out like the deceit some men are.
I know some of it is actually.
There's levels. To
just be prepared though. Be prepared because what you're doing about it.
Those of us that have just been cheated on, that accept it and thank God for what He's giving you. Because some people are finding out that their boyfriend has got a whole, like they're the one he's cheating with. They thought they were the girlfriend, but they're the one that there's actually the girlfriend. They were the cheatee or the person being cheated with, or they found out that their boyfriend has got like a kid on the way, or has got this amount of kids instead of this amount of kids. And I'm just like, And like, as someone that would date someone with kids, I'm sorry, but there's a limit.
Of course there is.
I'm sorry, there's a limit, man.
There's absolutely a limit. We talked about it ages ago.
At 35, as I am right now, at the ripe age of 35, I think my limit is 2.
It has to be, yeah.
I think it's 2.
That would be me.
And even that is stretch.
Yeah, even that.
That is 2 because it was 2 because you were married.
Yeah.
And now you've broken up. Like that. Yeah, it can't be more than 2.
Yeah, I have to be so real with myself and what I know that I can tolerate. And some people are like up for that. Do you know what I mean? Like some people really don't mind like the whole blended family situation.
No,
and I think it's more so people that like, maybe if you've got multiple kids and you can accept someone that's like, you're a bit more open-minded to that. I am not. I'm so sorry. I just couldn't. Because I just think that the dynamics are just something that I just don't think I have the capacity for, personally.
Like, a man can't come to me and tell me he's got 4 kids by 4 different women.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay.
Or even 4 kids with 2.
4 by 2.
No.
Let's stop this 4 by 4. I don't know if I can run with
and
me,
it's even that's personal choice. Do you know what I mean? It's not a bearing on those children or anything. It's a personal choice because you have to be realistic about what that's going to mean for your relationship. And I know for me, I can be selfish. Do you know what I mean? Like, as much as I can be independent and I'm not someone that needs to be all up under someone every 24 hours, 7 days a week, there needs to be some room for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Especially if you've got like different mothers of your children now, because what I require from you will mean you'll be a bad dad.
Exactly.
And then I can't date someone who's not a good dad.
Yeah, exactly. And then also the managing of so many different feelings.
Got 4 different children, 4 different women.
And they all have different needs.
And God knows, they might not all get along together. So maybe you can't even see all the kids at the same time or whatever. That like, and then I'm like, hey, what about me?
Mm-hmm. Which is a completely fair question to ask. Like, how do you have time
to do all of that?
You
and
just
be good
wouldn't.
at it?
Yeah, and exactly. And I couldn't date someone that's a deadbeat. So Yeah, I mean, we have to make it. Yeah, no, it's a strong no for me.
And then they said me, I now come with kids and together when I have 12 kids. Are we the fucking Brady Bunch?
People just say numbers. Like, honestly, I can't
he's
tell
got
me.
6, I've got 7, got 13 kids all to get 13.
Like, do you know what? Funnily enough, this is a little bit connected to the topic, but also not. Yesterday, I was in the salon, just getting my cane rows done for my wig. And it was nice. You know that you're in the salon and like people come in there and they were just chatting. And then one woman came in. And then my hairdresser, she's like known in the community.
Okay.
Right? She's lovely.
She's that girl.
She's that girl. She's had her shop for donkey's years. People come in and out. It's like a lovely environment, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so one woman comes in and then we're just chatting and we're just chatting and they're talking about motherhood or whatever. And she says so she was asking me, she was like, oh, how's Naiah? Blah, blah, blah. How are you getting on? Like, she's a bit older now. I'm telling her, whatever. And then this other woman kind of like chimes in and she's got 6 kids. Oh. And then, so they were talking about, a lot of women are having kids older these days. And, and I was like, I had my daughter at 37. I had her older. And for me, it was like the best time. I couldn't have imagined doing it younger, all the rest of it. And then this other woman chimes in and she's like, well, I got 6 and I started at 22. And at the end of the day, it was the best thing I ever did. I couldn't imagine doing it older, and it was like, and the thing is, honestly, when we were talking, it wasn't a slight on her her decision or her children or the amount of kids or it was genuinely, like you can just be talking about your personal experience. It's got fuck all to do with someone else. And you could see she was so triggered. Like she was waiting, like when we were talking, because there was another woman in there. The woman that owns the salon and the other woman, they're both older. Yeah. So their kids are in their late 20s and early 30s. And so they were just like, women are doing it older. Like my daughter is like, she's nowhere near ready to have kids. She's in her 30s. Like, I just don't see it for her anytime soon and blah, blah, blah. And the way she just was like, actually, like she was ready. Like she was so, I don't know why she took it as an offensive thing.
Do you know what it is? I think when you do have kids young, you're probably used to people chatting shit about you having kids young. So when you hear any of that, it's just like, well, not me, boy. No, like I was fine with that. Because like people have talked badly about people having kids young or how many kids that they do have or whatever. So maybe that's why she was like, well, no, you're not going to say that about me. Because people are not nice. People have said bad things when people have kids young. Yeah,
definitely.
Like as in one of the biggest thing that feared me about teenage pregnancy, having kids, because I was convinced that God would give me twins.
Yeah, no.
I was like, I would be the girl who got pregnant young and then it'll be twins.
Yeah, and you have to talk those things into yourself to stop yourself.
The same way that I was like, I'll be the person who does drugs and dies.
Exactly.
Like I just put certain fears into myself that that will be, so just keep away.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, that's always been a fear of mine.
100%. And then, she was just very like, and I almost felt like, oh my God, did I say something? But I promise you, we didn't. Like the conversation, like she had mentioned that she had 6 kids already kind of thing. But then the conversation kind of developed into when.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the way she jumped in, oh my God, I was just like, you have just shown this entire salon. You're very insecure and you're very triggered. And I think that like, there's nothing for her to feel ashamed or anything about. Like, this is just your life story.
What are you that way about?
Like there's one thing that
I have one thing that gets me every single time. Ooh. And it's people I was doing my thing while she think. It is when people talk about single parents badly. Or people that talk about like, well, my parents were still together and that's the epitome of like that thing, like instantly I have to stand up for my single mum. Well, actually my mum was single when we were absolutely fine and we turned out just fine. Anytime people are like, well, single parent kids happen. And the thing is, it's probably true.
They're
all the same facts, right? It is better to be. It probably is better to be from a 2-parent background, or whatever. But because I'm not, as in my body physically,
you're just like,
I'm like, well, actually, my mum had 3 kids by herself, and she looked after all of us, and we all turned out very, very well. Like I'm so quick to defend it. Or to be, because people will be like, if you're from a single parent background, you're less likely to have good relationships, or you'll be bad at relationships because of what you see. Well, I'm like, well, actually, I'm so quick to be triggered by that one.
Yeah.
What would it be for you?
I know there's so many things that just make me like sit up, but I'm just trying to think like.
I know one of your things.
What is it?
Audrey has a big thing for people who do female boss online.
Oh my God, thank you. That is exactly it. No, okay, yeah, that, and also people that like, so like you're giving off an image,
but that's not how you're living.
But that's not how you're living, or you're kind of like, not that anyone's entitled to your journey, but we all know that how you got here is not
So if someone got here via like, I don't know, a dick or two?
Escorting,
or you know, or some kind of behaviour. Exactly, or would you hate it when that was their path, but then they come online to
and
be
then
like,
start preaching.
Yeah, the girl boss, you gotta hustle.
I fucking hate it. Like, I really hate it. That really gets my back up. Like, it really, really, really does, because it's just so insincere. Do you know what I mean? And oftentimes, and it's specifically when they're doing things like, do you know what? If you're doing that and you're living your life, I can get my head around it. Do you know what I mean? But it's when you're doing that and then you're trying to teach other people this insincere method of getting the same results.
Yeah. When
you've cut out a huge chunk of what you did.
Of how you got here, yeah.
And do you know what? It could be that you sucked a dick or two. It could be that...
Hey, we're not against that.
Listen, hey.
Do you lick a dick a day?
Lick it till it sticks.
We were so dumb in
school.
Do you know
what I mean? Do you lick a dick a day? Lick a dick a day. I don't give a heck. I'm not going to shame anybody for that. But it's like, now you're coming here talking about it's your femininity that got... Yeah, damn right, it was your fucking femininity.
What part?
It was that what that got you here. Do you know what I mean? So that really, really irks me, because I just think it's so unfair to like breed these insecurities in people, and they're out here. Sometimes they're even spending money on these methods that are not going to get them those results. They are just not. Like, it's not exclusively how you got here. Yeah. And again, you don't have to share your results. You don't owe that to anybody. But then don't fucking go and sell a course.
If my come up was that, right, I have a big thing. This is not a trigger thing, but like, I've never understood, like, even like with the Jen Shaws or the Real Housewives, right, or whatever, people who commit fraud or do things in bad ways and then put themselves in the spotlight.
Yeah,
like
Jen Shaw,
Hush Puppy. Like, do you know how mad it is to know that I am bagging fraud?
No, but do you know what that is? That is how you know people are... There's a difference between clout and money.
Because Audrey, I would just go and live my rich life.
It's not good enough.
I don't need to post anything on Instagram. In fact, I probably wouldn't even have Instagram.
Exactly.
I will be living on a
Nothing
yacht.
that incriminates you.
I'll be carrying my bag. I do not need photographic evidence of that on the internet. But these people who know they are into fraud, and then they'll be posting things. Is it because they still want the validation?
It's like they're dangling it in front of the police to be like, here, catch me. I don't know what it is. I do know that the people's desire to be visible and show off when they know that they're getting the money in like mad ways is definitely more about attention seeking. Because like people like Jen Shaw and that,
she has no business.
She would have never...
I don't watch Housewives. I don't watch that Housewives. Jen Shaw.
She would have never ever been caught. Has she not been on TV?
If she didn't take her stupid ass
she would have never been caught. She would have been scamming old people, which is very mad, by the way.
Yeah, they're scamming this. Old people scamming is the worst.
That is actually mad. Taking someone's lifelong money that maybe
old people
for their
scamming
kids
is the worst,
or people's inheritance or whatever, and scamming them into signing up to these things that they can't opt out of. Yeah. And then taking cash every month. Do you know how mad that is? And you're doing that to multiple OAPs and just getting rich off of it. And then you're coming on TV and then telling people that, oh, you're making money off this business, off that business, and it's all fucking lies.
Why not just be rich quietly?
But people don't want to be rich. I realise that. Like, there's some people that do, because even even the other day I was talking about this wags to riches or whatever, and we were just like on my spaces, and someone made a really good point, and they were like, at the end of the day, everybody wants to see the lifestyle of these people, but the Savannah Jameses and the really, really elite basketball, they would never do a show like that.
If I ever saw Savannah James
on like Basketball
Wives,
I'll be like a divorce must be pending.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're better than that.
100%.
She's better than that.
Yeah, there's some people that just don't need to do certain things.
You might say
LeBron. But then if she was doing that would let me know it's not about the money, because clearly you don't need the money. You're not short of money, but you must be short of attention. And I think some people really crave that. And it's like, and I can kind of like understand it. Like, if you're doing all this scamming and scheming and lying and cheating, to get money, and you've acquired all of these things and you live in this gorgeous house, you want to flex.
No, but that means you want to be seen as rich rather than actually just, I just want to live.
I just want to be rich, yeah.
I don't care if people see me. Like,
you have a screw loose if you do that.
You have a need to be seen in a certain way, right? I don't necessarily need to be seen. I know I'm here. Like, I know I'm living a vida loca. Like, I don't actually need people to see me carrying the Bottega to know that if I know that I'm in my heart, I know I'm carrying the Bottega. It doesn't matter to me.
But it must be, it's an internal thing that people are like lacking.
And the thing is, I can get it if I'm working hard. You're going to see.
Even more so, if it's legit and no one can take my shit away from me. And do you know what I mean?
Especially something I didn't have, I now have.
Exactly.
You will see that Bottega.
Yeah.
I will carry it, I'll pose with it here. So it's very visible. But if I know I'm banging forward.
You're stealing.
I'm
like, do you know how insane that is? They must think they're untouchable. But I think to be doing that, you're a little bit already delulu.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you know what I mean? To know that you're stealing and you're trying to pass it off as legitimate money or legitimate wealth or whatever, and so you're posting and putting yourself out there, you already have to be mad. So why wouldn't you take it a step further
and just be like, hey,
because you've convinced, maybe on some levels, like you convince yourself that actually I'm not doing anything wrong. Like the amount of disassociating I think we do as humans on a daily is.
I kind of think it's kind of how we survive, you know.
What do you mean disassociate? You have to. If you deep everything, oh my God, it's
especially with like the bigger issues of life, like with like all the big things that happen in the world, right? If you deep everything, you can't do it. You can't live a day.
But I know that. I know that whole thing. And I feel bad. Like when I disassociate, sometimes I actively do it. Like I'll replace like a really, like say I hear something really, really traumatic, and then I go and replace it with something light, or I go and watch something light or whatever. I do feel guilty that I know that I'm doing that, and I'm just like, maybe my part is acknowledging this thing. But at the same time, if you acknowledge everything all of the time and you deep everything all of the time, there's so many things I hear that if I deep it, I will actually go crazy.
Every so often it will take me there, like a news headline, and I'll be and then I'll be like, no, you lot, do you know what's happening?
Do you know what's actually happening in this world? And do you know, so basically I've been wanting to talk about this for a few weeks, and I guess now's a good time. But I've been on this deep dive about this Naiah Harris story. Have you heard about it?
Okay, you told me about it a little bit.
And it is so heavy, and it's one of those stories that I try to disassociate myself from, but then like suddenly it brings me back that like she's, you know, like sometimes things are so fucked up, you try to reduce it down to something that's like an isolated story, but then it's such a wide, massive case. Like it's such a wild
thing.
The story. And then you remember actually she's not the only one. So basically Naiah Harris was a 13-year-old girl she's been missing for a year. She's now been presumed dead, even though her body hasn't been found. And she'd been living with her grandma. Her grandma had full custody of her, and her aunts, her twin sister aunts. And she basically had been groomed by her aunt's boyfriend since she was 11 years old. And it's pretty gruesome. They found out she was pregnant when she disappeared. So she disappeared January 2024. And yeah, they'd come to the conclusion that she was pregnant because of messages that they'd found in her phone. They have arrested the aunt's boyfriend. He is the main suspect, but he is pled not guilty. And other people are saying that they think that the aunt might be involved, and the family just in general have been covering up this massive like web of abuse and all of this madness that's been going on. And it's just such a sad story. Like this young girl was just left, like she just was not cared for. She was just not protected in any way, shape or form. This man, who was a known paedophile, by the way, his name is Jarvis Butts. So this Jarvis guy was a known paedophile. He'd already done time in jail in 2005 because he had sexually abused his stepdaughter. And a massive trigger warning. This is sexual abuse of children. Massive, massive trigger warning. If you feel uncomfortable, please like forward this. But he had given a 4-year-old chlamydia. Did jail time. He'd abused another stepdaughter. And the woman knew that. And the woman knew this.
It's having a man that.
Exactly. And she
knew. Do you know
how
mad it is to descend to that kind of man when you know you've even got a child? Like it's mad to do anyway, to date that kind of man, right? But to do when you know you've got a child in your.
I honestly just have to assume that everybody's not okay in that situation, because the aunt, her name's Shannon, she knew this information about him, and she still dated him. And she said that, and all the preliminary court is everywhere. You can watch it on YouTube and stuff.
I'm just sad that nobody was there for her.
Nobody was there for this little girl. And the thing is, it's honestly so heartbreaking. And some of the language that people have used, because the text messages and stuff, the conversations between them had been exposed. And the conversations were very much of a sexual nature. But for me, as someone who doesn't ever blame children,
she's been groomed.
She has been groomed to talk like this. Like she's clearly grown up in a household of abuse. And she was using very provocative sexual language, and she believed that she was in love with this guy.
Of course she did.
This is a child. By the way, he's 41 years old.
Audrey,
she was 11 when it started.
We remember being in school and thinking, I really fancy my teacher.
Exactly.
I think teacher.
That is
and
normal.
What happens then? That there were kids in school who wrote teachers' love letters, and I remember it. And then the thing is that you be like, no, this is not appropriate.
Exactly.
Like as in
a responsible adult.
Well,
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, I think there's many kids in summer camp, whatever, who tell you they fancy their teacher.
Older people.
Do you know what I mean? They fancy an older football player because they're kids.
Yeah, and you're going through that puberty stage where you're starting to develop feelings.
And the responsibility is on the adult to be like, no, baby. Like, as in, you don't feel like this about someone my age. You, like, as in, like, we talk about it. Is it that they're lacking relationship with their parents, that they feel like this, that why is this a thing that's happening, whatever.
Exactly.
You don't now say, oh, the kid is fast. That kid, all those old aunties and mummies that love to say, oh, she's too fast, this girl, she's so, like, when they blame on the child.
Constantly policing, especially young girls. Consistently policing the girls, putting the behaviour on them as though they invited this behaviour. It is really fucking sick.
I'm seeing our age and people in this generation doing it as well.
Yeah, people do it all the time. When people saw those conversations, I understand why it's mad to read that.
It's shocking to read
that she's inviting it. But at the end of the day, you've got to understand, if a child is talking in that way, it's because of things she's seen. It's not normal for a child to have access to that kind of language, to be using that kind of language. Like, clearly, and at the time, she was 12. Like, she would have been 13, I think, late last year, early this year. You're a baby at 13. You're a little girl. Like, what are the things that she has been exposed to?
What is she watching?
And I think for Naiah, it was just a lot of neglect. Her mum and dad were not in her life. Like, we don't really know where her mum was kind of like been in and out. Her dad died last year, but he had not been in her life for like 8 years. He found out she was missing on the news like everybody else. And then he died due to health conditions. The fact of the matter is, no one was protecting this child, and she was adultified, and she was left to just be used and abused. And when I internalized that story, because I've really been just like following it really deeply. And then I like I said, I have the privilege of just being like, oh my God, I don't want to think about that. But then I think Naiah's not the only one. I wish it was like an isolated thing. And then I get mad at us because I'm just like, no, people, like, we really have big things that are going on in this community. Do you know what I mean? And like, people will just be talking shit all the time about things that are not relevant. Like, we really have an issue. You know, if we want to talk about protecting Black women and girls, like, we actually need to be, these are the conversations that's how we need to be happening. Yeah. Like, I don't want to hear shit about who pays on the first date, 50-50, a provider man. These things are not important in the grand scheme of things when our girls are actually being sexualized, they're being abused, and in the most extreme cases, they're being killed. Their bodies are being literally disposed of. Like, we've got bigger fish to fry. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, we actually need to turn our attention to what is important and get to the root causes of what would allow people that have got this child in their care to disregard her and to not protect her. And then there was another video with like some other random man, because people have started like accessing her Instagram and stuff like that. And you could see that this was a child that was alone. Like, she was alone a lot of the time. And there was one video of her and that she was dancing, just doing a TikTok, just being a kid. And in the back, there was like the fridge and there was a massive padlock and chain on the fridge. And it's just like, that speaks to me like, don't go in that fridge, don't touch this food. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's just so many moving parts. And there was another video of her with another paedophile. And
doing whatever, it's the grown man is the problem here.
Always.
It's not the kid who thinks she's in. Like,
there's no accountability
especially in her
on that
case,
child.
where she's clearly been groomed.
Clearly.
And also, like, if she's from a household where her auntie's dating this known paedophile, you can, and it sounds really, not to be thingy, but there are some households that you can tell that every woman here is just like, man. They don't care what version of man it is. Have you got man, that they use that kind of singleness as insult. They have to have a man in their life. Like, no matter what the guy does, they have to keep him around. And some families are like that.
They are.
That they will consistently excuse men's 100%. Bullshit just to keep men in the house.
He's paying the bills.
And if you are a child that's seen that, your thing is that whatever a man asks for, you have to do, because that's what all of your aunties do. That's what all of your mum does. That's what happens.
And I think that is very much what was going on in that household and many households. And so people can turn a blind eye to sexual abuse because this man's paying the bills. And that's why I honestly think that we really, when we talk about pick-me-ism and stuff like that, this is what I'm talking about when I say it can be very extreme and very, very dangerous. And why the decentering of men has to be a thing.
Like, I don't care about pick-me's that cook on the internet.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, please, like, those ones are light. I don't even think we should focus on them.
They're funny. Cool.
Exactly. Like, we just laugh at them and keep it pushing. But the ones that are actually like, really perpetuating the importance of a man, like no being in a household no matter what, like, this is just what you do because at the end of the day he's keeping a roof over our heads. Like, no, and that's why I'm always going to push, like, you have to be able to take care of yourself in this life. Like, you cannot solely rely on anybody especially when you have children. Like, I just think that if there's any time to be hyper independent is when you've got kids, because there are people that are preying on you. And this Jarvis man, and he's not the only one. They are everywhere. They're global. And when it comes to this whole paedophilia thing, there's no colour. Like, I know that people like to identify it to certain races. Honestly, they're in every community. They're in the Black community. They're everywhere. And I just think we really need to be diligent to these guys who are actually targeting women with children. And this is what this Jarvis guy did. He targeted women that had children that were insecure. He was a conventionally good-looking guy. And if you see the women, if you see the lineup, like, I'm not trying to shame anybody, but it's very you can see that there was intentional behaviour and why he was targeting these women. And you shouldn't just give random men that you're dating access to your children. Like, you just absolutely shouldn't. Like, if there's any time to be hyper diligent, hyper vigilant, is like when men are coming into your household. I'm so sorry. Like, and it's just, honestly, the story is so heartbreaking because I can't even imagine how scared she must have been. And he had messaged her, she was even had to message him to get her feminine products. Do you know what I mean? So again, that just speaks to what was going on in that house. The neglect that was going on in that house. She'd messaged him saying, stood up get me pads. Like, she'd said that she'd missed her period, and he was like, how long? And she knew she was pregnant, and then she disappeared, and she was never to be seen again. And it's just a very, very harrowing case. And it honestly just breaks my heart. And so when I see us like online chatting shit when there's bigger beasts that need to be fought, like, yeah, I mean, we don't know that she's dead. They haven't found a body, but just if she is gone, just rest in peace. And to all the other little girls that are suffering at the hands of this stuff, like, it is something that honestly just, I don't know, it just really, really breaks my heart. Like, it's scary. And I just don't want us to ever become desensitized to the abuse of like little girls and children in general, because sometimes it feels that way. Like, it feels that way to me, and I just don't want it to be normalized.
It's just another story.
It's just another story, and it's just like this stuff ruins people's lives. Do you know what I mean? It changes their entire outcomes. Like, we have to be diligent. We have to keep our eyes open. Like, if you see anything that you think looks strange, if you hear anything, don't ignore it. Like, pay attention to the young girls and the children in your lives. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's protect the kids. So I'm genuinely really scared that like too many predators have access to our kids. And it really breaks my heart. And I think I need to stop with the Naiah story because I've just become so enveloped in it. And it's just, yeah.
I think it's like, think about why people feel like they have to dissociate. Because I feel like it's heavy.
It's heavy.
Like, you be walking around with it and you are, there's like, this is so heavy. Remember there was a time, this is like not relevant, but there was a time when there was like, I don't know if you remember that TV show, that like Good News TV show. Like, all of the news was only ever good stuff because it was just...
Bring that back.
Oh, he was the guy that used to host it. Like, I used to probably watch it all the time. It was consistently just like, this good thing happened here, this great thing happened here, there's this foundation. It was just always good stuff because there is such consistently like, and like news that we should know about, right? Bad things that we see online all the time and things that you hear about. And these things are not just funny little family secrets anymore. They're not like, oh, uncle's a bit touchy. No, like those, like, no.
Exactly. There's whole ass rings and just people that are committed to like the harm of other people. And it's just like, those of us that say we're good, we have to band together. Do you know what I mean? Like, we have to try and our best. They're always going to be there. Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like sometimes people, even when people like try and pass the blame back or like pass the, like, I think like when people want to hold like children and stuff accountable, I think it just makes them feel better because you don't want to believe that people are just that wicked. No.
That is insane to say you want to hold kids accountable because you don't want to believe that's wicked. People are that wicked.
People are just that wicked. That's just the reality.
Like, what do you mean you're going to hold a child accountable? What do you mean the child is fast?
What could a child have done? If someone's a predator, they're a predator. If they're that way inclined, they're that way inclined.
And also, for an adult to say that adult that was once a child, we're so aware of how like
the innocence,
that we have, or whatever. And even if we don't have any innocence, it's things that are taught that we shouldn't have probably seen or we shouldn't have learned about, right? So to now think, oh, it must be the. So in your adult mind, you think a little girl moved to a man and
seduced the man and he couldn't control himself.
And he couldn't control himself, and it's her fault.
So therefore, she kind of asked for it.
Imagine
almost.
A fucking idiot saying that.
You're a fucking idiot. If you have anything even close to that belief or that has even crossed your mind, you need to reevaluate.
You think a little girl put it on a guy and he was like, oh, I can't stop myself.
Exactly. There's no world in which, if someone is that way inclined, they want to harm regardless. at the end of the day. There's nothing that any child can do to entice a grown adult. Like, we just all, like, please, like, let's use our frontal lobes.
And even this need to quickly call girls this, that, and the other, or like, I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm. And the targeting of children, especially that are vulnerable. Like, do you know how mad, like, and sick and low down you have to be to know that this child already has the shittest start in life, and then here you come swooping in, doubling down on someone's trauma or lack thereof. Like, I don't know. Obviously, there's always going to be evil people in this world. There will be, and unfortunately, we can't control them. But everybody else that's we have to just wait. We have to wake up and
I just think
make sure that these people don't have access, because there's people like there's families like that though. She knowingly.
This wasn't the fact that he was. It wasn't a secret that he was in jail for what he was in jail for.
It wasn't a secret.
Knowingly bring that man into your home.
Exactly. And then have 5 children with him, and he has access to all the kids in your family. And they did interviews. The families have been doing interviews. This has been going on for a really long time. And they were just like, and one of the answers like, yeah, but we still don't know for a fact that we still don't know. And it's just like, what kind of fucking... how slow can you be? Like, the thing is, the receipts are there. Like, the conversations were there, and that she's just like, yeah, well, we don't know that he touched this girl, and they're referring to Naiah as this girl, like, as if she's a nuisance. And it's just like,
I remember the first
some people
time
don't stand a chance in this life.
That world was ever like shown to me. I remember, this might sound like I'm being stupid, but I'm not. Was watching Precious for the first time. I think before that, I was very ignorant to thinking that kind of thing was even possible.
Same.
And I don't mean the predatory part of it. The bit where the mum didn't believe. I did not think there was a world that someone can say to their mum, this thing is happening to me, and the mum puts it on them.
Yeah, they
them says that you're the one moving to my man, is jealous of them.
Yeah.
That's never.
Same.
I've just never. And I remember watching Precious, I was like, no, it must be this character that's tapped.
No.
Like, it can't be a real thing. It's just like, it's a
of
film. Like, I was like, oh, it's
life.
because they're doing a film. Because I couldn't imagine a world where that was possible. Like, I'm very lucky to have been brought up in a world where my mum believed me. Like, and I'm talking about anything big like that. Stupid things. I'm a teacher snapped me. A teacher was being horrible to me. My mum believed me, and that was nothing near as big as this. And I'm also very lucky that even though I was brought up in a single parent household, my mum was incredibly. I even think sometimes still today, that's why my mum didn't remarry.
Well, it probably is.
I think, especially when we were younger, my mum was very cautious about who she brought into that household. Like, as my mum had all girls, that I know it so much that I felt it. Like, you
probably thought, why doesn't mummy ever like have
She did not play about that thing at all. Even if it meant that she went to go stay at someone else's house. Like, that thing of, I've got 3 girls. I just do not know. And I actually want to have a conversation with her if that was a thought process of hers. Or if it was more like, I just didn't want you guys to see me with men. I don't know what the thought process was, but I remember feeling very, very protected.
Yeah, it's definitely a form of protection, and that's the way it should be.
Like, even when
that's the way it should be.
Everybody has that uncle that's a bit mum like, yeah, I go upstairs.
Yeah.
Or like I said, that she was very like, and even maybe they call like those weird uncles, but she was very And I don't know, because I used to go to parties. And even the I'll come and dance for me kind of uncles, like, oh, I come.
Exactly.
Even the drunkard uncles, I move away from that. Like, that man is a drunkard. Come and stand here with us, sort of thing. And I remember watching Precious, I'm thinking like, nah, this is just a film.
Oh no.
But like,
no, but it's a lot of people's reality. Like, it really, really is, to the point where, and again, I think a lot of that stuff, it's like this idea of either a man is a prize or a man is like funding your lifestyle, paying for your lifestyle.
Thing. I think it's
a survival thing. Like, you need this man to like function. Like, and I guess a lot of the times those mums are being abused.
Sorry, but what did men actually do that they were titled this? Like, when we were being founded, why did they give this level of power?
It's all just manipulation. It's just.
Because
it's
also
just to keep women.
These women also need help. The ones who are so adamant to be like, I can't get rid of this guy no matter what he's doing because I've got a man and at least I've got a man.
They'll kick the daughter out. You know, honestly, that happens all the time. Like, it is so common. And I think there's so many contributing factors. It's definitely this like obsession with having a man, seeing a man as a prize, whether it's because it's financial or emotional support, or the man has like manipulated you or brainwashed you into thinking that you can't live without him. There's so many different things, but a lot of mums don't like their daughters. There's that factor. Like you might like a lot of mums are jealous of their daughters. Do you know what I mean? So then this guy comes along and it amplifies a thought that they already had in their head.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just so many things.
I think a few mums are jealous of their daughters. Even outside of the man thing, I think some mums watch their daughters live life.
Exactly.
And it irks them.
They see living the life that they should be.
Yeah. Like and I think some mums it's like their pride and joy. They're so happy that their child can live a version of life that they never could have. But some mums, it's like,
the opposite.
No, you'll go through what I went. Like as in, you will go through what like some mums would be like, well, when I was this was happening to me. It's the goal not to do better than what I've always thought that how I saw life was that like, as long as your kids are doing better than you did, you're fine. You've done it right. So if my mum was brought up better than her mum was brought up, she's done it right. If she's brought us up better than she was brought up, she's done it right. Literally, if I bring up my kids up better than my mum did it, I've done it right.
That should be the goal. But unfortunately for everybody, it's not.
Some parents that because I suffered, you too have to suffer.
You will go on the same trajectory as me.
I don't. When I was 16, people would kick out their kids. Like kickers, I was like, well, I didn't have a mum when I was 16. I figured it out myself. But you're here.
Exactly.
Like I said,
exactly.
Why does your child have to go through that? And when you went through it, you didn't like it. So then why are you putting that on your kid? I've always been so baffled by that thing of, well, I had it tough, so you have to have it tough.
Yeah.
Because my mentality, I have it tough, so you can have it better.
Exactly, so you don't have to suffer. I don't know if that's got something to do with like how you love that child, if like you have to go all the way back to the beginning and that how that child came into the world, whether they wanted the child. I really don't know what separates the mums that, or just the parental figures that want to see like their children do better versus the people that just don't give a shit and can actually bring themselves to like blame them for their own abuse or choose them over a man. I don't know. Choose a man over them, sorry. I don't know what goes through their head. I can't relate. My mum was just not that way inclined.
I think it goes a lot to letting women have babies that want to have babies. I think some mums are like that because they didn't want kids.
Yeah, they didn't want kids.
But for whatever reason,
everyone's maternal.
For whatever reason, they felt the need to have kids. And now this kid is here, they feel like it's an inconvenience in their life.
And they can't love that child.
They can't.
Because they don't have that innate desire, they don't have that innate instinct because it's not something that they wanted, whether it was
to them, the kid was someone they had to look for, to look after. So
they just have to feed and water this child, But that love, like it doesn't, not everybody has it. And I just think you have to have a spoon.
If you don't want kids, do not have kids.
Yeah, honestly. Because you just mess up people's entire lives. Yeah.
Because think about all of the strength and the joy you have in you because you know you're loved by your parents. Even so nothing about the opposite of knowing that your mum
that you don't.
Like, I am who I am because I have love at home. I'm so I'm good in this world because I am so aware of how loved. In fact, you can call it under love.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Maybe love me a little less, Mum. It's actually okay.
Call it.
Let me breathe.
I feel. Let me breathe.
I feel overwhelmed by this love.
But so now imagine knowing. Because I'm sure there's people out there that'll be like, no, I know my mum doesn't.
We've had those dilemmas from people.
My mum
just
doesn't fuck with me.
My mum just, there's no connection. There's, and even outside of love, just knowing having my mum's voice in the back of my head to stop me from making stupid decisions.
And the love doesn't always look like how it looks like on a fucking Happy Mother's Day card. It's not always like what films show that, you're best friends and you, that doesn't mean, that's not what it is. Because I think sometimes I have a big thing of like, and before it used to be television and films, cool, whatever, but I have a big thing of when people perform roles. So I see it online a lot with friendship. People perform what friendship, like, but it's like the reality of what you guys are actually doing. But they're performing. So everyone thinks that like, if my friendship is not like that, I don't have a good friendship. Yeah. People see things and people see how people are with their kids. And some people are like that. Some people are their mum's best friend. And they and that is their relationship. Yeah. But so many people are also not. But that doesn't mean that the love is not there. Your setup is just different. Like you just don't have
love is
that.
Just executed differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because my mum, I'm really close with my mum, but so maybe sometimes the way I've talked about her here, or even if you were to see us together, it wouldn't project that.
Yeah,
do you know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
We're not like skipping down, like kissing each other, telling each other I love you all the time. Like when I come to my mum's house, we don't hug or anything, but I still know that like I love my mum and I know she loves me. But there was very little physical like touch.
It's so funny.
But I don't need that from mum.
The hugging and the I love yous only happened after my dad died.
Really?
We were never really the family that would be like, I love you, because it was so clear.
Yeah, we know.
Like it was, so we're never with the family that said it. I don't know. Suddenly, every phone call, okay, I love you, bye. And I was like, this is new. My mom calls my friends. My mom called Tony the other day. I was like, I love you. I was like, like she'll call my friends and she tells them that she loves them, sort of thing. So I since then, I think that shook up to be like, oh shit, maybe I need to be more vocal or whatever. But before that, we never used to say I love you.
And that's okay, because love grows and it elevates. Do you know what I mean? And different life experiences, things happen that can elevate an existing love. Do you know what I mean? And it can show up differently according to things that have happened. But yeah, I think at the core of what you're saying is that it doesn't have to be like the Clinton's card version of like what it looks like. Do you know what I mean? Like how everyone shows up for everybody is different. So long as you feel it, I think that's the most important thing. Yeah. As long as you feel the love. But to not even feel it.
Because I feel like if you feel it, you also know what it's like to not have it. I think people know when they're like,
oh yeah.
That if a woman does not want to have kids, do not make her.
Yeah, the end result is way too big.
So big.
It's way too big to just make it just a fleeting thing. Like it's like you really have to be invested, because if you don't, then you don't care. You don't care about what you don't love. Do you know what I mean? So what sounds like an absolute no-brainer, like, what do you mean I've come to you to say that this is happening to me? If you don't care about that thing, you're not going to believe it, because there's no love there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
There's resentment there.
There's resentment there.
Like, there's many resentment there. Now, though, of course, is a fucking flawed way to think. Now you're thinking, oh, now the one good thing I have in my life, this kid is going to come and take my man. Of course, that's incredibly flawed.
But that's how they think. That's the reality of how these people are thinking. The kid has already been a nuisance.
Now I've got a man. Now this kid is telling me that this man is, now I have to leave my man for this kid. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly. It's just very scary. But I'm just going to need people to... One, the very root of it is, if you don't want to have children, do not have them. It. That is the very root, because then we don't necessarily have these problems later in life.
It's actually not by force.
There's no children to worry about. Do you know what I mean? But everyone else, please, like, do not center these men to the point where you're just allowing anything to fly. Like, you're just allowing anything in your home. Like, absolutely the fuck not.
To shift the conversation, I had a very trivial... Sorry, guys. I had a very...
Please, let's lighten up the mood.
I had a very small question to ask you.
Please, ask me.
Very stupid.
Let's lighten up the mood, please.
Is there something that you've been embarrassed by that you still think about? Like an embarrassing moment that you still comes up in your head? I asked this because I have one and it came up again. Like sometimes it's so suppressed. I've got two. I've talked about one before here. But this one, I would just be living my life and then suddenly I remember I did it and it makes me want to vomit. Oh, God. And it's not even like, I think I probably talked about it here before, which is when I went to get a bra fitting in M&S.
Okay, I don't know that you have.
Maybe I was... So I went to get a bra... This was honestly years ago. My first bra fitting in M&S. You know, I don't know if they still do it, but
they do.
Yeah, they come and measure your bra and breast, whatever. So I went in there and she was like, okay, cool, like take your clothes off. But I took everything off.
Oh my God.
I took my bra off. So she comes in and she goes, oh no.
Oh my God, man, put your drawers back on.
Put your bra back on. And I think about it and I was like,
sorry.
Would you please? I just thought she needed my bare chest to get everything. So and the thing is, because I stood there waiting for like this, my tits out, just waiting for her to come back in. She's like, ready? I was like, yeah. She comes and she's like, no. And then she ran back out. And then to put my bra back on, and then she has to come back and do the test. So the whole time I'm like, and I think about it.
No.
So off. Like, I'll be having a good day. Like, and then suddenly I'll be like, remember when you just did that?
I've had so many embarrassing moments in my time. I remember one time that proper stands out. Like, I remember I was in Ghana, this is years ago, and some guy I know, and I don't fuck with him to this day, actually, really. So
because of this thing?
Yeah, because it was so embarrassing. So it was a comedy show, actually, think it might even have been etiquette, you know. This was years ago. And so this guy that I knew, he was like, oh, I've got tickets. Like, you can come and like sit with me and my people. I was with my sister. I remember my dad dropped us there and he was like, come and sit like, at the front. So we went and sat at the front with him, blah, blah, blah. Then he's gone off to do whatever. Anyway, the whole show starts. Like, the show starts. Then the people whose seats, but they belong to, the people who actually own those seats came. And said, but they came like in the, and because I was right at the front. So they'd come and then security's come up to me and my sister and is like, you guys have got to move. What? And then the guy who was like, come and sit there was nowhere to be seen.
So he didn't even have their seat?
So they came and like security actually came as well and like escorted us out. And we had to do basically the walk of shame because it was in an outdoor venue and all the seats were like in rows.
Did comedian make a joke about you guys?
No, he didn't, thank God.
Thank God.
And then we had to do the walk of shame down the aisle. Walking past everybody. Remember, it's outside, so we're walking past. Everybody has full vision of me and my sister being evacuated from these seats. I was so angry because naturally, it's not really my natural instinct to go and like be right at the front or whatever.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Anyway, if I don't have tickets. But because he said it with such chest, I was like, okay, cool. Like fine, whatever. I'll go sit there. The walk that we had to do, and I just remember I was like proper dressed to the nines. It was so embarrassing, and I don't really. Oh, it was mortifying. Absolutely.
But that whole
mortifying.
someone telling you you're in their seat, I don't know why it's so.
It's so
I find
embarrassing.
it so embarrassing that I don't argue.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I get up and I check after.
Yeah, go and check after. Yeah, just move. Yeah, exactly. Don't even make a scene.
In that moment, I don't want to not be like. I remember doing it once to this girl I was at a concert, and the thing is, it came across so bitchy, and I didn't mean it to be. And then I was like, oh, sorry, you're in my seat.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, no, I'm not, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I'm like.
Actually, this is
yeah, you are. Here's my thingy. And then she was just like, oh, okay. But the mission her row was all the way at the back. But I'm like, you knew.
You raggedy ass bitch. You know you didn't pay 160 for them tickets.
I'm very different. A and G are very different. Why are you sat in A when you know J? And also because you were arguing with me. And I was like, just move.
Some people, I think if they argue enough, you'll go away. But once you're the owner of the thing,
you
just cannot. Yeah. You just actually cannot. But that thing I remember, were you in Ghana that year? Where we all went, like Kirsten.
Was. Yeah, I wasn't Ghana that
Rachel.
Year. Was it that year?
Yeah, that year. No, that wasn't that year. No, the year that happened to me. But there was another. Remember? No, you were there.
What happened?
It was that year when there was that house party. No, it wasn't a house party, but it was that rave on the roof.
Yes.
Remember that year?
Yes.
So that year, there was some party and I didn't have the table. My friends had that Kirsten had the table, whatever. And some random girls had like sat in the air. No, so we were on that table and then some random girls came and were like, this is our table. And basically a brawl started. Like, long story short. Because the girls wouldn't move and it wasn't their table. It actually just was not their table. And like, when it is actually your table. So you can fight, like you can talk with chest. But they were giving attitude and they were refusing to leave. Obviously I didn't participate, but I was just saw from a distance. But that was actually mad. They came over with attitude. And it's like, no, this is actually our table.
But why when it's not their table?
And then on top of it, it was the girls brawling. And then the other girl was like, nah, it's my boyfriend's table, whatever.
So it was never your table, so you don't even know.
Exactly, so it was never your, but then the boys in the back just like dapping each other up, being cool. And when the girls are brawling in the front and fighting.
There's a girl in the industry
mad.
Till this day, and I fuck with her because of this thing. Till this day, I remember it was years ago at a party. I think it was even one of like when Marvin used to have parties. What
Lux.
It was a Lux Sunday party. I think you were here at this day as well. Or maybe you were there after and I told you about it. And the thing is, they said this is a table, right? Mm. I wasn't even sat. Do you when you're just perched at It was like a booth. So I was perched at the side of the seat because my heels were hurting. I wasn't even sat at her table. She comes about, she was like, why are you on my table?
Oh.
I was like, oh,
the thing is, it's a way of saying it. Like, come on.
She was like, nah. But do you know what it is? I've clocked it. It's when girls pay for the table.
Their
head is now because I pay for this table, which is fair. Because, girl, I will never pay for a table.
It's not nice.
So if you paid over $1,000 for a table, I get my, get this raggedy bit. I was like, oh no, my feet are just hurting. She was like, move, man.
That ain't it.
And there was nothing. I just had to move.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
You do, because she's asked to come on this podcast. Until this day, I'm always like, no. no.
She unfollowed me.
I will never forget what you did to me.
She unfollowed me on Instagram. I've got no idea why.
Because you keep saying no first come on the podcast.
Maybe.
It's because she said, move, man. Like,
that's rude.
She was like, move, man. She
but the thing is, she doesn't even give that, you know.
I was so...
We'll tell who it is on Patreon.
I literally, when she was like, honestly, no, I was hot. I'm thinking about it making me hot again. Because when she said, oh, yeah, I was like, oh, sorry, babe, my legs just need pain. I wasn't, let's say I was leaning on this back bit of the chair that like, she wasn't sat on. I was just like, oh, babe, my feet are just really hurting. And like, I'll get up. She was like, move, man. I said,
the thing is that's so mad is she does not give that in at all. Like her image is like so friendly, girl. People are full of fucking shit, bro. Like her image is proper like girl.
Audrey, I left the club.
So nice.
I left the club.
Because the thing is that's rude though.
There was no dancing.
I would never.
I left the club.
I would never address a girl like that. Usually,
unless you've got beef before.
Yeah. I would never ever address a girl like that, even if she's on my club. And to be fair, I'm not even fussy, so long as you're not drinking my drink.
Well, you're not even sat next to me. You're just leaning and saying whatever. Like it's not annoying. You're not even leaning on a chair I'm sat on. You think someone can say "move, man" to me? I moved and I'm doing besse in the dance floor. I had to go home.
No,
I can't whine again.
My head would have been hot as well. Though.
I can't dance again. I can't sing along to Burna Boy again. I must go home.
No, that is foul. There's actually no need. Because even if that is the case, always come polite. Like, there's just literally no need to come on that energy
ever. Driving home and be like, it never happened to you again.
No, that is rude.
Move, man, with her hand.
That is rude.
And because it was her table. Because otherwise it would have been a fight. Because I'm like, no, I'm not going to. What's my angle
sometimes
here?
it's the girls and it's like mutual guys that you both know and you've all been invited on the table.
That one's fine.
Do you know what I mean? But even if that's the case and you haven't paid, you should not be coming over acting entitled to a table if you haven't put money on it.
The thing is, she's got money. I know she paid for that table. Like, I know it's her table. That's why I moved. It's her table. Like, it was her table.
Yeah, but still.
But
that's fine.
I didn't ask
her
for a
table,
drink.
but
I didn't ask for a cup.
There's
I was just leaning on the back.
There's literally no need.
I was so... Nah, till like, God give me a forgiving heart because I see that Caroline and I'm still...
No, I can't even imagine her being that way because the way she acts like so lovely... Interesting. Do you remember when we were in Vegas and those girls tried to come on our table?
Yeah, we didn't say move, man, no.
No, we definitely didn't. We just told the security to put the thing down. We didn't even say any. We didn't even say Pim to them, boy. We actually
just said security.
We said Maurice.
That was what's so fun about raving in Vegas. And when you had a table, you had your own
personal security. Guard. And he would come.
Did they do that in all clubs in America?
I want to know.
I have never experienced that in the UK.
They definitely did that when we were in Vegas. But we had the biggest table
This
there.
Man took me to the toilet and waited outside the toilet.
They escort you. The way they don't even let you open the drinks yourself. Like, they do everything. Like, that's what I call a fucking table.
That's what I
Not these raggedy Argos tables that they give you with one bottle on there.
And then they'll be giving you Captain Morgan for
£200. Do you know what I mean? Exactly.
No, club promoters. To be fair, tables have ruined clubbing.
How so?
We don't dance no more because we just sat at a table.
Yeah. We don't dance. We don't sweat. We don't break a sweat no more.
From a club and your makeup is not recognised.
In your business casual.
Remember them bar rumba days?
Yes! Dance like a dancer.
We used to dance like David danced.
We proper used to do dances as well. Like,
I used to dance. I got videos of me having dance battles.
It was like an actual workout.
Now, my little H&M bodycon dress.
My American Apparel.
Premium 2. And we
sweat that right out with my matte lips.
Sweat that dream matte mousse to the ground.
Nah, that makeup weren't it. My business fucking casual, bro.
Sweat my Mac.
We used to wear waistcoats to the club, yeah.
Peplum skirt down. I used to still be dancing. Do you know what I used to dance in a pencil skirt?
Dressed like white collar, party like blue collar.
I snorted. That's disgusting.
It's true. No, we probably used to dance in the club. Like,
if I wasn't in a peplum skirt and a blouse.
No, but honestly, when was the last time you went out, yeah? And there was like, outside of like industry things, I think sometimes industry people do dance at parties, depending on the party.
Depending on the party.
Because sometimes people would just want to let loose and just be free amongst their peers. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But in terms of just going on a night out, I don't think I've actually seen.
It's so funny. I remember asking my sister this question in this country, because I think we've had fun when we've been out in like
abroad. Yeah.
When was the last time you went to a party, you come and you were like, that was lit? What was the last party that you went to that you was like, no, that was sick? I honestly can't remember.
I can't remember.
You know when that there was food.
I can't remember.
I'm such a thief. I didn't even mean to say
you
food.
Forget the canapes.
But like, you were dancing, you were laughing, you had a good... You didn't like, you even lingered at the end. When was the last time you went to that kind of party? I honestly haven't got a clue.
Oh no, actually,
what party?
That time. But I don't think I danced. I just was lit.
What one?
When we went to
when you took your fucking shoes off.
That one. I had a great time, but I don't remember dancing.
You were drunk.
I was wasted.
She was wasted.
That was a great time, but I don't think I danced and stuff. I just know that I just drank too much. Yeah. I don't know if that counts.
But no, that counts. I can't remember the last one that I was like, no, I had a... Do you know, sometimes I used to go raving that. I wake up, the top of my thigh
that's how much, from all that,
all
that bouncing.
Get it on down.
All that dipping in line.
I'm getting it on down. My thigh used to hurt like I worked out because I was getting it on down on high. This kitten heel, you know when kitten heel were not dancing? My heel used to be this.
6-inch stilettos with a platform sometimes.
And I used to get it on down.
Drop down to get your eagle on. And people actually would follow the instructions of the song and actually get down.
Flap your wings.
And flap your wings and like get down on the floor, sweat our hair out. We didn't care. And the thing is, the men weren't judging because they were dancing too.
Yeah. And
everyone was dancing.
You can even smell your weave at the end of the night. You
can smell the straightness and the sweat.
Boy, you need to get yourself the fuck home. Do you know it was like the lights turned on and you were scared to see what your reflection would look like?
No, it was actually scary.
I was actually scared of
But
what
that was proper from dancing though. That was from having a good time. And now it's just none of that.
Speaking of flapping your fucking wings, can you believe Nelly performed that?
I know.
I'm more surprised by Snoop Dogg, actually.
Same. But do you know what's mad about Nelly? I hate when people do fuck shit and then they try to find some fucking... They just do mental gymnastics to try and justify it. And then he had the audacity to say it wasn't for the money. Would you have done it for free? No, you wouldn't.
I would have been happy if he was like, yo, I've got a kid.
Exactly.
I've got other kids.
Exactly.
People know me. I haven't been booked for a little while like that. Exactly. This is a big bag, so I did it. I think people would be more forgiving of that.
Honestly, I think people would. We're living in hard times globally. It's hard times for everybody. If you just said, listen, I needed the bag and, you know, I just had to put my family first, fair. But when you're doing all of this stuff, like, he said that, he didn't know that everyone else's political choices impacted, like, what he did and how... it's your actions that matter, and he's always been someone that stood up.
That's your action, though.
Exactly, that's the action that we're judging.
That was your
action.
He's
like, his action. He's done so much for his city, and at the end of the day, people should know where his heart is, and all of this fucking crap. I'm like, bro,
you
did it for the money.
Okay, we don't know you. We don't know where your heart is.
Exactly.
Because we don't know you.
What we see.
Right, so we know the actions that you see, right? So if the action is that you're performing on this, we're going to assume that's who you are, right? So if you come and be like, yo, it was a good check.
Exactly.
I needed some money.
Who the hell
was the last time
that?
you saw a Nelly top 10 hit?
Never.
It's been a minute. So I get it.
Mm-hmm.
People haven't flopped their wings in a while.
And then he announces Vegas residency, and then I saw someone on TikTok doing like a protest saying, "Do not buy these tickets."
Yeah, and that's
now look.
As in the same one that Adele does.
I don't know. I think there's levels.
Okay. What?
I don't think he'll be in that room. I think he might be in ballroom B, honey. But he announced some sort of residency. But that's why I rate Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy was like, "Fuck y'all niggas, man." He was like, "Fuck y'all niggas." Kamala didn't call me. He was like, "Where the fuck was Kamala at? She didn't call me, niggas."
Like
he just said he did it for the money.
All the way. Don't be half ignorant.
But when people have no expectation, no one even cared about Soulja Boy because no one has any expectations of him.
Soulja Boy did not let me down.
Like he didn't do anything.
He did not let me down.
I don't hold him to any moral high ground. I'm actually more surprised by
Snoop is the one.
Yeah, because he's talked about it in the past.
Oh yeah,
he literally called out.
I said,
and do you know what? Yeah, he has. And literally, when Chrisette Michelle performed, he was on her ass. Like he literally did a whole thing saying that anybody in 2016. Who performed at the inauguration was an Uncle Tom. Like he called them out. Like he actively called them out. And then fast forward. I mean, I know Snoop does anything for the bag, but wouldn't you remember that you called people out in 2016?
But Snoop still gets booked. He's cooking with Martha Stewart.
Exactly. He's got like a kids thing. He's got his version of like lullabies and stuff.
What's his version of
affirmations
of the dancey song? People are still dropping it like it's hot.
Yeah, exactly.
We weren't flapped our wings in a while, but we dropped it like it's hot recently.
He's still got hits. Snoop is getting money from every which way. He did not need that check.
He does nursery vibes.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
a cooking show.
He didn't need that. He did not need that.
I mean, maybe we don't know the finances behind it, but I was really surprised. I was like, Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, I just think it's just very embarrassing, especially if you've talked about it before.
Okay, but everybody has a prize, right? Who is the worst of our politicians?
Nigel Farage.
That's it. Nigel Farage is doing a seminar and he's trying to get more black voters.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Audrey, I would like you to come and talk in this seminar. Name any price you want. Are you doing it? If so, how much for?
The thing is,
another thing. Two questions. Are you doing it?
If the price is limitless.
And how much for?
If Nigel Farage said, Audrey, come and talk, for 30 minutes and we're going to pay you 1.5 million, I can't lie.
Nigel! Give me an N! Give me an I! What does it spell?
But I will say this, I will fuck off after though. Do you know what I mean?
Here's my thing. Mine would it would be enough money for me to fuck off.
Exactly.
And I think that would be like in the hundreds of mil, like
100 mil. Stick around and get flogged all day.
50 mil, 100 mil. I will fuck off, right? And also the reason why I'll do is that why the fuck are you not putting your exposition on Tolly?
Exactly. I never said I was a politician.
Who the fuck is this bitch?
Exactly. I never said I was a politician. I cannot lie.
Like, who the fuck is Solid T for you guys to determine how you vote?
Exactly.
Don't be stupid.
You were going to vote how you were going to vote anyway. And that's my whole thing with Nelly. Because it's like, my issue isn't even the fact that like he did it. It's the mental gymnastics after.
I'm not the mental. I will never talk. Like, as soon as that money has landed, I'm deleting all my socials.
Exactly, I'm deleting all my socials.
And I'm not
saying another word.
I am fucking off.
Because the thing is, I'm not being funny. I'm not going to turn, and I know this sounds mad, because I listen, the people that will rest on their morals.
Look, hypothetically, of course.
I love that for you guys. Like, I love that you have stronger morals than me. But at the end of the day, people have short memories. Why am I going to turn down life-changing money that's going to better me and my friends and family for a very long time when people are going to forget about it in 2 days?
No, it has to be enough money that I can fuck off.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's what I asked for.
Yeah.
As long as I can get this money and in years to come, people are like, remember Tolly?
Yeah, exactly. I don't need the clout like those other people.
Exactly.
I don't care. I just want to live comfortably. I just want to live good. And I'll do this podcast on the dark web.
So did you hear that Trump's pardoned that guy that had that website on the dark web?
Who? I know he's pardoned bare mad people.
So this guy, he had kind of like, not Amazon, but let's say Amazon, a dark web, where you can ask for, as in you can pay for someone to go kill someone. Like I said, like it was like, you can pay for anything you've ever wanted done. It was like a transaction, like an e-commerce site for people to do whatever. And obviously he got jailed. Trump has pardoned him. I think he's out. Is he out of jail yet? And he's back on X.
What?
Do you know how mad that is?
No, that is actually mad. Like,
but I think his thing is that like, well, I didn't tell people what to say on there. I just created
the thing, yeah.
So no,
you facilitated it. That's good enough.
Not put it on the light web?
Exactly.
If you just wanted things to be selling, why did you put it on why is it on the dark one?
Exactly. And why? Like, what do you mean next day delivery or murder?
What, your agent is selling keys and light bulb. What you're saying?
Do you know what I mean? Everyone else is selling everyday items and you're selling death. And of course, Trump pardoned him. Like, listen, Trump has no. He has no limits.
Every time I see a picture of him, he doesn't look real.
He looks like a mannequin or something.
Me that this is a real life person.
Yeah, I know. It's actually crazy, and they're proper like flogging Kim K as well. Like flogging her. Like
I saw this. I went to send you this TikTok. You've probably seen it. It was this old black guy.
And he's like, Kim Kardashian, you motherfucking hoe.
No, when old black Americans curse, I was like, whoa.
He's like, you a fucking raggedy ass bitch, hoe. He's like, you a fucking raggedy ass bitch. Like, he's proper going in and he's
like straight face.
No, he's actually serious. Like, he's
this
actually,
for Kim Kardashian.
Like, he's actually cussing her out.
Uncle.
No, I saw so many like that as well.
You know, it sent it to you, but I was like, I know she's seen this video.
Yeah, she's definitely seen
it. Laugh.
Or because she posted Melania. No, what's her name? Is her name Melania?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But also, why did she do that? Like, and
of
also,
course,
like,
it was so loaded.
The reward wasn't worth. Like, why did you do that?
She deleted it, so obviously you couldn't take the heat.
Why did you do that?
Why did you do that? And what she was wearing wasn't that fire to justify You posting that.
Another question. Is there anything Nigel Farage will say you have to say that will make you say no to this deal?
Oh, if he's like, you have to say like slavery and colonization wasn't real. Do you know what I mean?
If he has to say there's
like
no racism in the UK. Or you have to get on stage
and just say that one line for 10 million.
Racism. No racism in the UK. Black people are not where they are because they don't work hard enough. For 10 mil.
Oh, God, that's a really fucking sticky one still. No one, don't even come in my DMs with these sorts of offers, you know. No, that's too loaded. Because that's
me for the rest of
do you know what I mean? That's too
if I could write a speech, I can kind of twist it.
Do you know what I mean? Like people can interpret things.
Read between the lines.
Do you know?
Yeah. I just start saying Yoruba midway.
Exactly.
I don't mean what I'm saying, please.
Do you know what I mean? Like something that definitive that I know is not true. I don't know. Even for me, and I'm listen.
No, here's what I would do, right? If you said that, I'd be like, yeah, but I need 50% of the fee up front, right?
Yeah, and then fuck off. And then just
so I go 50% of the fee, and then it'll be a live broadcast, and I'll be like,
fuck and I'll be like, racism is real. Once that check clears.
And then I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I got 5 mil to say fuck Nigel Farage.
Yeah.
I'll be all right with that.
Oh my God, that's sticky. No, no.
Everybody has a price.
Everyone has a price. That's actually very true. I'll have to sleep on that one still. I don't know that I wouldn't. Like, for life-changing money.
Everybody has.
But everyone, like, I've just...
No, we're a fat society. We like money too much.
We do.
Because your morals should be higher than that.
No, definitely.
Like, do you know what I mean?
It's really low down.
Like, it's dirty. It's just disgusting.
It's really low. Did you see, so Nene Leakes has got she's got a podcast now.
Oh, she?
Yeah, it's so random, but it's with that Ciara girl from Love and Hip Hop ATL. You know, the one that's like, she's been married bare times and she's had like bare work done, even though on the podcast they're talking about how neither of them haven't had any work done.
Nene.
Like, I need Nene.
What's her name?
Nene
Leakes.
To be fair, she basically denied having a facelift. But she did say that she gets fillers and she has Botox. No, she actually said she's never had Botox before, but she just gets fillers. And she said it's like mainly contouring and that how she does love to use a lot of filters, but so she's like, she knows
as long as she's not saying she hasn't done anything.
No, she's saying she gets fillers, but she says she's never had Botox and she's had her boobs done. And she's basically saying that the reason why she looks so different to like back in the day is because of makeup.
I do think, maybe not in her, but I do think makeup has made us look
100%.
Because the way we apply it, because we're now aware of like, because we can contour now, our face looks less full. So I do think...
And I think she admitted to a nose job as well. Which was like, well, duh.
Yeah.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah. But she can't say she's done nothing.
Yeah, no, she admitted it. But the thing is, I find that when people are like admitting to surgery, they admit to... Do you know what I mean? I feel like if you admit to just having enough little things done, then it kind of like hides the sins of like the big things that you might have done. But she's only had one nose job. She only ever gets fillers here and there. And then the rest of it is all makeup. And just like better wigs.
I mean, I've never seen it in real life, so I don't know if it's
neither do I. But she always says that even she was addressing the whole filter thing and she was just like, so what? She was like, I know that I look good in real life. She's like, I know I don't look exactly like that, but I don't want to look like that. Like, that's the whole point. Like, the filter is supposed to make me look like unrealistic. But she knows that she looks good enough in real life to justify the filters.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Good? No, not really. I don't think she needs Ciara. And they've come up with this narrative that they've been friends forever. No, they haven't. Like, you know, and it's just like, you guys just got together to do this podcast. And to be honest, I feel like Nene needs to know her source. A podcast with Nene alone would eat. Wow, she's so funny and she's got enough stories and enough one-liners. Or just do interview style podcast. She could absolutely get away with that. I'm not.
Do you know what? It's actually true. Who is telling Nene she's not enough?
Someone is, because she does not need to have that podcast with that Ciara woman. And I don't know much about Ciara. I haven't watched Love and Hip Hop in ages, but I know her from Love and Hip Hop and it just feels like a very weird forced partnership.
And Nene has one line. Like,
Nene has stories. When it comes to talking and yapping,
she's witty with it. She's like...
100%.
Is her and Cynthia friends again now?
I think they might be actually, because she was saying on the podcast that so when all that stuff happened with Portia, do you remember when they were filming that TV show and then Portia, she didn't want to film, blah, blah, blah. They called Cynthia. She done it with Cynthia. So I'm guessing that they're cool. I don't think that they'll ever be like how they once were, but I think they're definitely, they're cool enough kind of thing.
I think I watch a TV show.
What do you mean?
I think it's
It's
a
like
Netflix,
keeping up with keeping up
I
with
saw the episode. I literally watched the episode the other day.
Yeah. It was that show.
I was
Keeping
like,
up with the Shawns or whatever it's called. Yeah, that's what. Well, they were cool, and then Portia did that, and now they're not cool. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's a shame. That's my two favorite housewives.
I know,
Portia
man.
and Nene.
Portia and Nene.
I think they have been the best.
The best.
Of the housewives.
And they've been so consistent as well. Like together, like them two together are better than apart.
When they were freaking that was a good time.
When they're not beefing.
Yeah, it's a good time.
And they're together.
Yeah,
it is just honestly
great
the best partnership.
The
best television. But yeah, they're beefing again, unfortunately. So, but yeah, I thought that Nene, it was interesting about her whole denial of getting work done, but she's denying a facelift. You have to listen to the words. She's denying a facelift.
And that's the thing, is the headline will say Nene denies surgery. She does
exactly. And then you listen to it and she's denying. She's like, my face is not that snatched, honey.
A facelift.
But yeah, she doesn't. Nene, if you're listening to this, you can do this on your own.
You've got this, baby.
You've got this.
Don't flop this.
Exactly.
But that's it.
That's all, folks.
Okay, well, that's it.
That's it.
Thanks for joining us. We went about the houses. We got deep. We got on deep. We realised that we are not for our culture.
Exactly.
But everyone, of course, everything apart from what wasn't was a joke.
Yeah, exactly. You can decipher the real from the,
apart from
the
what
nonsense.
was a joke.
Yeah.
It's your girl, Tolly T.
And just call me Audrey.
Bye.